scene opens with a slow, sweeping aerial shot of a vast, desolate mountain range covered in deep snow. The sky is dark and heavy with clouds, creating a sense of foreboding isolation. Soft, melancholic music plays. In the winter of 1959, a group of experienced hikers embarked on an expedition into the unforgiving Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. They were young, strong, and full of ambition, aiming to conquer the peak of Otorten, but they would never reach their destination. What happened on that frozen slope would become one of the most perplexing and chilling mysteries of the 20th century. The screen transitions to a faded black and white group photograph. The 9 hikers are smiling, bundled in winter gear, their faces filled with the excitement of the adventure ahead. The camera slowly zooms in on their hopeful expressions. These were not amateurs. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the team consisted of 8 men and 2 women, all students or graduates from the Ural Polytechnical Institute. They were skilled in backcountry trekking and prepared for the harsh conditions of a Grade 3 expedition, the most difficult classification. Their journey was meticulously documented in diaries and photographs found later, painting a picture of a challenging but normal trek. That is, until the night of February 2nd, the scene shifts to a dramatic reenactment. The hikers are seen inside a large canvas tent pitched precariously on a snowy slope. The wind howls outside. The mood is tense but stable as they prepare to settle in for the night. Under the cloak of darkness, on the slopes of a mountain they ominously named Dead Mountain, something went catastrophically wrong. The team had set up camp, a decision that baffled investigators, as it was in an exposed location rather than in the tree line just a mile away. Inside their shelter, they were preparing for the brutal night ahead. Suddenly, a bright, unnatural orange light flashes outside the tent, illuminating the canvas from the outside. The hikers inside react with confusion and then sheer terror. The sounds of the wind are replaced by an eerie, humming silence. Without warning, a terrifying event drove them from their only shelter. The evidence left behind was baffling. Rescuers would later find the tent, but it wasn't unzipped or untied. It had been sliced open from the inside, as if the occupants were desperate to escape. A trail of footprints led away from the camp, down the snowy slope towards the forest. Inexplicably, some of the footprints were made by bare feet, while others showed only socks or a single boot. They had fled into the sub-zero wilderness, where temperatures plummeted to 30 grader C, without proper clothing or footwear. The scene changes to a search party, dressed in heavy winter gear, discovering the abandoned campsite. Their faces are grim as they inspect the damaged tent and the scattered belongings. When the group failed to send a telegram by their scheduled return date, a search operation was launched. On February 26th, the search party located the abandoned tent, half buried in snow. The discovery only deepened the mystery. The hikers' belongings, including their boots, warm clothing, and provisions, were all left behind. The scene was one of silent, inexplicable panic. The following shots are quick and suggestive, depicting the grim discoveries made by the searchers. A gloved hand brushes snow off a frozen face. We see bodies partially buried in the snow, far from the tent, dressed only in their sleepwear. The first 2 bodies were found at the edge of the nearby woods, under a large cedar tree. They were barefoot and dressed only in their underwear. The remains of a small fire were nearby. 3 more bodies, including that of Dyatlov, were discovered between the tree and the tent, seemingly frozen as they tried to crawl back to camp. But the most horrifying discoveries were yet to come. It took 2 more months for the remaining 4 hikers to be found, buried under 13 feet of snow in a ravine. A close-up shot focuses on a medical examiner's report, with specific lines highlighted implying severe internal injuries. Another shot subtly implies a missing tongue on one of the victims, without being overly graphic. These last 4 hikers had suffered devastating and bizarre injuries. One had a crushed skull, and 2 others had major chest fractures, injuries comparable to the force of a high-speed car crash. Yet, perplexingly, their bodies showed no external wounds, no soft tissue damage. The most grotesque finding was that one of the women, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue. The cause of these catastrophic injuries, inflicted in the middle of a desolate mountain range, could not be explained. The scene returns to wide, lingering shots of the empty, snow-swept landscape of Dyatlov Pass. The wind whistles, and the mountains stand silent and imposing, holding their secrets. To this day, the truth of what happened on Dead Mountain remains buried in the snow. Theories range from an avalanche and military weapons testing to infrasound-induced panic and even an encounter with something beyond our understanding. The official investigation concluded that the hikers died from a compelling natural force they were unable to overcome. The final shot shows a classified Soviet-era file being stamped with a red case closed mark. The phrase "compelling natural force" is visible on the document. The screen then fades to black, leaving the audience with the unresolved and haunting mystery. The case was abruptly closed, and the files were classified, fueling decades of speculation. What could have terrified 9 experienced hikers so much that they would rip their way out of their tent and run to their deaths in the frozen darkness? The silence of the Ural Mountains offers no answers, and the Dyatlov Pass incident endures as a chilling testament to the unknown.
Subscribe if you dare.